Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and we have absolutely an amazing Monday market report for the week ending November 13th, 2022. Boy, what a few weeks would do. Just to kind of recap things since the beginning of the month. Yeah, well, it's been kind of a slow start to the ultra premium graded kind of market for numismatics, but I think we could officially turn that page and say that we have some of the most monstrous finalized auction sales, all from great collections, of course. Your go-to auction site for selling your premium coins, in addition to adding something really nice to your collection, they are the place to go. Had to throw in that little plug because I love those guys a lot. But in any event, we have just a really, really stout lineup of coins, ranging from big to bigger, I would say. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking to buy a coin this week and you're looking for a higher end, higher echelon registry set piece, or even a just really good looking type piece, I'm afraid to say that you are probably going to pay upmarket over what you could have paid for the same coins maybe just a few short weeks ago. It seems to be that a lot of the guys that have the money to spend on some of these coins have all of a sudden come out of the woodwork specifically for this week. It's almost like a show week, like a World's Fair of Money week, or a Long Beach sale kind of week, only because there's some high profile coins that had sold. So just to let you guys know, we talk about post-1900 era modern graded coins. All right, these are coins that typically a lot of folks know about. We didn't have to, dig in deep to some of the other types of series that most folks maybe aren't aware of, or, because they're kind of harder to look for. We try and stay away from that. People are more in tune to the modern coins because stylistically, they're very familiar to us. Even for the folks that aren't really in the hobby, knows what a Buffalo nickel is. So, we talk about the same stuff every week. If you're catching this on a Sunday night, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully, you guys are having a nice, relaxful evening before our week kicks off. But if you're checking this out on your Monday morning commute, drive safe. Have a wonderful Monday. Have a great week. And thank you guys again for all your views and support. Let's go ahead and check out the top crop of coins for this week. Starting out with a 1986D. Obviously, this one's going to be on the list to fulfill the high-end Lincoln Cent registries out there. There's really no other reason why you would buy this coin. It's not per se an investable coin. I would never drop the kind of money that people drop on these type of moderns. It's a really, really crazy world we live in, where some of the highest mintage, most common coins can sell for a lot of money. Now, this coin right here is a Mint State 69 red, which is indeed the top grade for this date. It's not the first time that we've seen an 86D Mint State 69 on the list, but chalk it up for another one that did indeed pop today on GC to the tune of $4,055.62. Again, who in their right mind would pay that kind of money, right? If you talk to just anyone out there who doesn't know anything about the coin market, especially the registry set side, this will fool a lot of people into thinking that just every 86D that you come across is worth this kind of money. There are, of course, insinuating fine print type of stuff that needs to be addressed. And, of course, the registry set is all you need to know. Again, you got to tread lightly. I don't personally recommend you folks going out there sending these to PCGS. The top grade is really tough to achieve. A lot of coins that do look perfect in our untrained eyes sometimes just wouldn't quite cut the mustard. A Mint State 65 to us looks like a 68, 69, or vice versa. Yeah, I butchered that, right? But anyways, yeah, $4,000 for this one. Tons of money. Now, this is the first time that we talked about a perfect grade in 1981 Type 2 proof. Lincoln cent. Now, there's a Type 1, Type 2. As you guys know, there are mint mark variations. This is the Type 2 mint mark, much more tougher. I would say most folks know about the Type 2 Susan B. Anthony proof dollar of the same date. But, you know, it's the mint mark variety exists all throughout the various denominations in 1981. So this one right here, proof 70, I mean, what kind of price tag are we looking at for a perfect graded proof with the much more scarcer mint mark variety? Well, this one ended up selling for $12,150. More than likely, this is going to end up in a registry set. Of course, registry sets, the more completed registry sets have business strike, they got proof coins, they got varieties, you name it. So people do collect every single conceivable type. The Lincoln Cent series as a whole, registry sets are pumping just huge amounts of money into these sets daily. And yet, here is another one here that we could just kind of throw in on top. Now, there was also a Type 1 81S Proof 70 that did sell in tandem with this one. Not even close. I think that one ended up selling for like $1,800, but you could see the rarity exchange here from a Type 1 to Type 2. We're talking worlds apart as far as value. Here's the 77S. Again, this one's a Proof 70 red deep cameo. The deep cameo really does matter on these. The greatest part about these coins is that when you have the elevated frostiness of all of the devices offset by that just wildly black fields, you know, these coins are gorgeous. They don't all get the Proof 70 grade. Sure, they're very well struck and very high quality, but the coin has to be perfect in order to get there. And a lot of these that did make it through to its owners, a lot of them end up grading like, you know, Proof 67, 68, deep cameo, which those coins aren't worth no more than a few bucks. So perfect graded 77S, $1,513.12. As you can see, the price disparity from that 81 Type 2 to this one. There are quite a bit more 77S Proof 70s than there are Type 2 81Ss. Well, man, this is kind of a throwback. 1963 Lincoln Memorial Cent. You remember I talked about this, 8-9 years ago? As a coin that at the time, the top pop grade was Mint State 67. All right. And there were none graded higher than that. But now times have changed. A lot of folks have been submitting these older 60s and 50s Lincolns in the hopes of popping a much higher grade. So 67 plus is indeed that grade for a 63. Excuse me. Full red matters. This is all registry set right here. This one ended up selling for $4,730.62, which is the type of money I remember a plain 67 red selling for 9-10 years ago. Again, times have changed a lot. A lot of people have submitted these to the graders, and you know, through time, better, bigger quality coins come out of the woodwork. All right, well, you guys are here for this one, right? So we're all familiar with the year 1943 and what it means to numismatics. The U.S. Mint made zinc-coated steel cents. We call them steelies. So there were a few inadvertently minted 1943s on the older bronze planchets, which happens. You know, when we talk about the quality control and the cleanliness of the mint facility back during World War II compared to what they are today, it's like worlds apart. So mint employees, when they found some of the leftover 1942 bronze planchets on the floor when they're doing cleanup and sweeping up, man, they throw those things in with the steel cents and nobody really cares. There have been quite a few of these found across all three mints, but they are still kind of like today's fabled find, right? It's the coin that we all kind of wish and strive to find. It's almost like winning the lottery. We want to win the lottery one day, but the odds are really long. They're very thin to finding them. And yes, these are still worth a absolute just grip of cash. This one right here is an AU50, so it has definitely seen some circulation. It was probably found, I would assume, maybe in some, like wheat cent bags or something to that effect. It's CAC certified as well, so it's got that extra added bonus. But at the end of the day, after the dust has settled, this one sold for $298,125 as the final sale price. This thing is a monster. I believe the prices have gone up on these. I believe the last AU condition example of this coin sold for no better than like 180,000 or something, somewhere around there. So now we have a new floor on these for this particular grade, and the pursuit and the hunt continues for a lot of us. So wish you guys the luck, and if you do come across these, make sure it doesn't stick to a magnet, of course. The next one that we have here is a very, very tough date to find in full red. So 1931D is nothing like a 31S, which is one of the key dates of the series. But when you get into this condition where not many of them were preserved in mid-state grades, these are quite tough. Now, this one was graded by NGC as a mid-state 66 plus full red. It's a good-looking, period correct type of coin in mid-state condition. Looks very, very nice. Probably, I would guess, into a registry set of some sort. There are mid-state 67s, so there are higher grades. So consider this kind of like a tier 2 type of coin. So this one ended up selling for $3,825. Again, a very pricey coin in grades above mid-state 66. Dare you to find them, but more than likely, the prospect of finding this date in full red, raw, at a coin shop, everybody knows about this one. Not the best looking coin, but if we're going to talk about some high grade rarities, anything 1920s, especially Denver and San Francisco, all deserve that mention. They are one of the toughest decades to search for mid-state red. This one barely makes it too. The reverse of it doesn't look too red; it looks more red brown. But PCGS did assign this one as a mid-state 64 plus. Full red, it's got the RD there, CAC certified, so there's probably no question whatsoever that this is more red than it does appear red-brown. This particular example ended up selling for $2,541.38. Always a good kind of decade to kind of try out if you're looking to cherry pick coins in mid-state condition. This is a great. You don't have to necessarily go into the teens where you're going to end up paying many hundreds of dollars. Someone I would assume could probably cherry pick a coin like this for $50 on the Bourse floor and do really well flipping it, much like whoever owned this one and sold it did really well. All right, so after just an insanely stacked Lincoln Cent lineup, we are into nickels now. What's nickels going to do to show up here at this party? A little bit. They were represented pretty well this week on Great Collections, starting out with a 56D. A little bit tougher date, especially in full steps. This one was actually assigned mid-state 66 plus FS through PCGS. I'm a little bit on the floor or on the fence on this one because the steps to me don't look full. Looks like there was a hit on the center portion of the steps that go into it. It's kind of hard to say if the lines of the steps are indeed obstructed. Again, this is something that I have to see in hand, but we're gonna have to make do with these photos. I wasn't about to, by the way, pay $2,986.88 to just to make sure. But you know, someone out there is adding a piece to the registry set. Again, 50s nickels with full steps are quite difficult, and with good reason. They are pricey. This one's a monster. I think a little bit of what we have here has to be attributed to the toning, but the grade is pretty phenomenal as well. PCGS assigned a mid-state 67 plus full steps on this one. The toning is really what wins the day. It's nothing too crazy. It's more light and pastel-y in nature, which a lot of folks do kind of admire a little bit more than say one that's like dark and gritty and, you know, just wild. This particular coin ended up selling for $10,581.61. Just a world beater right here. Obviously, registry set is where this one belongs. And a 45S, I tell you what, silver wartime nickels in mid-state, just blast white condition are some of the prettiest coins I've laid eyes on. I think these silver wartime nickels are a prettier looking coin than, say, you know, just a medium mid-state kind of mercury dime. When they're well presented and pretty and well struck, these things they bright whiter than any other silver coin that I've seen. Mid-state 67 with full steps is where this one's at. Wartime silver coinage was generally very well struck. It's all about the cleanliness of the planchet. It's really where these things matter the most. They're incredibly popular, and they're going to be until the end of time, just because of their status as being, you know, a different metallic composition compared to all the other nickels, all the way up to right now to 2022. But mid-state 67 FS on this one ended up selling for $2,306.25. Not a whole lot else to say, just other than a very handsome coin. The last Jefferson we have is this one here. Of course, you know, I'm just all choked up by this variety. I've never personally owned a doubled Monticello. When I do buy one, it's going to be in a really nice grade, probably a mid-state 64. It doesn't have to necessarily be full steps. But that's the only way I could afford one, you know? Spending $1,000 or something on this is you know, well within kind of like my price range. But you have to admire coins that end up like this. Mid-state 67 even has full steps, which is kind of a rarity on this particular variety. You can see the doubling of 5 cents. Monticello, I mean, this is something that sticks out from like miles away. You could see it. But yeah, just a beautiful high-end piece. This one ended up at $10,616.62. Just a beautiful coin. A few Buffaloes. How about a 35S? We've talked about this one before. Not this specific coin here, but other 35Ss. They are a good compromise of like, you know, readily available if you cherry pick them. They are out there. There were actually some BU rolls a few decades back that were opened at one point, and the best kind of coins came out of them. But this one right here is a mid-state 67 plus. Just a really good high-end piece. Again, registry set might want this. A premier type collection might want something like this without going into the teens, where similar graded coins would sell for $10,000 or plus. This one ended up at $3,206.25 here this evening. And then 1919, Philadelphia. I think this one right here has all of the originality in the world that really puts this one a cut above the rest of all the other Buffalo nickels here this week. Mid-state 67, just a fantastic, phenomenal grade for this. It's not the highest that I've seen for a 1919. Very well struck. It's got lots of flow lines and luster and things like that. It's just a really well represented coin. $3,487.50 was the final sale price on this one. We do have a few dimes here this week. The only Roosevelt is this beautiful gem proof, 1958, with deep cameo frosting all throughout. Um, Again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. This is a coin that you could cherry out of a $30 proof set, ladies and gentlemen. Not to mention all of the other deep cameo coins for this particular date that you should be looking for. It's a Proof 69 deep cameo. Again, beautiful coin. PCGS did right on this one. $3,487.50 was the final hammer. And, you just don't see that kind of price tag on Roosevelts, on any of them, especially proof coins. So this, again, is a testament to the desirability of gem proofs like this one. If you come across a frosty-looking example, and there's very few of them out there, just know that that you might have something on your hands. 1942 Mercury dime, one of the classics. This one has a little spot toning all throughout. It's graded in a 35th anniversary original green holder, which was available a few years back. This one is a PCGS Mid-State 68 with full bands. This is a incredibly high-graded example. This one ended up selling for $2,418.75. Again, the gem mercs always going to be highly desired. 1940S, of course, this one has lots of toning. Some folks might consider it a little bit too dark for their tastes. But with toning comes the originality. The coins that don't typically have toning, are least desired. People pay up for the toning. This one especially because it's a Mid-State 68 by PCGS. With no full split bands. This thing is as flat as the day is round. But yeah, pretty cool toning on this one for someone that desires it. $2,081.25 was the final tag on this one. And the last dime of the week is the 1930. These are generally found very well struck. I haven't personally found a 1930 that I did not fall in love with. I myself had owned a few Mid-State 65s and 66s of the state. S-minted coins are a little bit more tougher to come by, but who can argue with a nice blast white merc? This one is NGC graded Mid-State 67 with full bands. This one ended up selling for $2,606.62. Again, Mercury dimes. I love these things. We're going to end it off on a couple of quarters. Now, this one is a doozy. 1966 Washington quarter was a coin that you could have never found in a mint set because mint sets just did not exist in this date. If you guys remember, the U.S. Mint only produced SMS sets. So, if you could go back 56 years ago, not a lot of people saved these copper nickel clad coins. Even from day one in 65 and then 66, 67, nobody cared about them. There were people that were actually a little salty that the U.S. government decided to take silver out of coinage. So nobody really cared worth anything about saving these coins. And that's the big reason why, uncirculated graded pieces never really survived. So when they do, in today's age, Registry set, people, they want it, and they'll pay a boatload of cash for them. Now, the grade on this is astronomical at Mid-State 68 plus. I remember trying to gun for a 67 in this. I even submitted one, and it came back what I thought was a grade too low. But anyways, that's a story for a different time. But this one ended up at $12,937.50. I would venture a guess this is either like a pop 1 or 2. There can't be too many of these. But, goes to show you the challenge of trying to find high-end Registry set caliber coins from the 1960s era of Washington quarters. They're just non-existent out there. Yeah, 61D. These early 60s Denver minted coins are a little bit tough, and when you hit 67 on any of them, they are very expensive. Like this one here, but this one also has the benefit of having some of that original OG toning on there. $2,193.75 was the final sale price on this. And then finally, we're going to end it off on a beautiful type piece here. We have a 1928D Standing Liberty Quarter. We don't talk about Denver minted SLQs that often, but here you go. Here's a great looking example. Mid-State 65 with full head is what the final grade was on this one. It's also CAC certed as well. $5,227.88 for the ultimate, I guess, U.S. type coin that you could possibly ever look for is sitting right in front of you. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. Again, a very busy week. Yeah, some absolute big gemmy monsters on the list. Kind of makes you take stock. You're like, man, I'm in the wrong business. I need to be finding some of these. But anyways, yeah, you've heard me say that before, and I keep saying, no, I'm good. Especially when it comes to finding a 1986D that you could sell for $4,000. Where does that come from? But anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this one. Don't forget to love, share, subscribe. Hit that follow button if you are on TikTok. I am there as well. But that's going to wrap it up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you had a favorite coin this week, go ahead and comment below. Would love to hear it. But you guys take care. Have a wonderful evening. Have a great week. And I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.